This is Third Maccabees chapter 2 verse 25. It says he proceeded to Egypt. It's talking about Ptolemy the Fourth, I believe. Yeah, Ptolemy the Fourth. So it says he proceeded to Egypt, grew worse in wickedness through his before mentioned campaigns in wine, who were lost to all goodness, and not satisfied with countless acts of impiety. His audacity so increased that he raised evil reports there, and many of his friends, watching his proposal attentively, joined in furthering his will. His purpose was to indict a public stigma upon our race. Wherefore he erected a pillar at the tower porch and caused the following inscription to be engraven upon it: that entrance to their own temple was to be refused to all those who would not sacrifice, that all the Jews were to be registered among the common people. Alright, this is only attacking who? Only attacking Israel. Alright? That those who resisted were to be forcibly seized and put to death. And that's exactly what the New World Order entails, man. Because the New World Order is all about enslaving the nation to Israel. Alright? You can find out about that in Revelations, the 11th chapter. You can also read Psalms 83. Alright? Verse 29. That those who were thus registered were to be marked on their persons by the ivy leaf symbol of Dionysus or Bacchus. Same person, one's Greek, one's Roman. Alright, you can know Wikipedia. I'm basically a faggot. Alright, and to be set apart with these limited rights. Alright. So in every quote unquote society, man, you had some type of system that they wanted to have some type of New World Order system, man. Even going to First Maccabees, the first chapter, verse 41 on down, around that time, man. King Antiochus said that all people should be one. All right. This is our Third Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 11. It says, they were conveyed according to his vessel, and at the end of it surviving in Askedia. The king had ordered them to be cast into the Hippodrome, which is basically a NASCAR stadium, which was built in front of the city. This place was well adapted by its situation to expose them to the gaze of all comers to the city, basically a gazing stock. Alright, as the scripture said, that we were going to be part of the curses. Alright, and of those who went from the city into the country, thus they could hold no communication with these forces, nay, were deemed unworthy of any civilized accommodation. When this was done, the king, hearing that their brethren in the city often went out and lamented and melancholy distress of these victims, because you had Alexandrian Jews, right, was full of rage and commanded that they should be carefully subject to the same, and not one with milder treatment. So when these Jews went by, and they went often out, and they seen the other Jake up in slavery, man, they got put in misery with them, man. That shows you how Jake stuck together back then, man. But now Jake all fucked up. Alright, says the whole nation was now to be registered. Alright, every individual was to be specified by name, not for that hard servitude of labor which we have a little before mentioned, but that he might expose them to the before mentioned tortures, and finally, in the short space of a day, might extirpate them by his cruelties. The registering of these men was carried on cruelly, zealously, assiduously, from the rising of the sun to its going down, and was not brought to an end in 40 days. Alright? And these elites are basically on the same. These elites are basically on the same path, right? It says the registering when this place getting chipped of these men was carried on cruelly, zealously, assiduously, from the rising of the sun to its going down, and was not brought to an end in 40 days. Man, it's gonna be a non-stop thing, alright? Because these guys are gonna be taking, just like when I was overseas, it was non-stop. I already know, it was non-stop. We had 12-hour shifts, so once we got on, somebody else came. So once I got off of my shift, somebody else came on my shift, man. Once we would leave out of duty, a whole other unit from another state came in and relieved duty, man. So it's literally it's gonna be a non-stop process, man. All right, just like you get 24-hour stores, man. With this new world order, gonna be a 24-hour thing. They gonna get as many people chipped as possible in that short amount of time span. This is Judith in the Apocrypha, the 2nd chapter, the 1st verse. In the 18th year, the 22nd day of the 1st month, there was talk in the house of Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Assyrians. This is Nebuchadnezzar's father. Alright, that he should, as he said, avenge himself on all the earth. Now, just put this in mind of the elites. Alright, so he called unto him all his officers, or the council of 13 for that matter, and all his nobles, and communicated with them his secret counsel, and concluded the afflicting of the whole earth out of his own mouth. Then they decreed to destroy all flesh that did not obey the commandments of his mouth. And when he had ended his counsel, Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Assyrians, called Holofernes, the chief captain of his army, which was next unto him, and said unto him, Thus saith the great king, the Lord of the whole earth, Behold, thou shalt go forth from my presence, and take with thee men that trust in their own strength, like America, alright, of footmen 120,000, and the number of horses that their riders, with their riders 12,000. And thou shalt go against all the west country. The same thing the elites, man, the west country, because they disobeyed my commandment. And thou shalt declare unto them that prepare for me earth and water. Remember the movie 300? Alright, earth and water. Alright, for I will go forth in my wrath against them, and will cover the whole face of the earth with the feet of mine army, and I will give them for a spoil unto them. The feet of his army in this case will be the UN. The UN is the one that's going to take over the whole, the one world military, so to speak. Alright, verse 8. So that their slain shall fill their valleys and brooks, and the rivers shall be filled with their dead till it overflow. And I will lead them captives into the uttermost parts of the earth. Alright, in the concentration camps, whether they send you to camps here in America, whether they ship you to a Guantanamo, or whatever they got camps at, man. That's where you're going to be at. Last scripture, Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is coming down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth he have but a short time. I'm gonna get one more scripture. So Revelations 3:10, it says, Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which is a chip, whether you believe it or not, which will come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Alright, going back to Revelation 12:12. Alright, so with that, I'm going to say shalom.